She was told she was too quiet to matter, too soft to survive, too emotional to lead, yet every night she lay awake holding herself together piece by piece, learning how to breathe through pain that never asked permission, learning how to smile when the world only offered silence. This is where unbroken women are born, not in comfort, not in applause, but in moments where giving up feels easier than standing up. An unbroken woman does not begin strong, she becomes strong through storms she never asked for. She carries loss in her chest and hope in her hands. She learns early that life can be unfair, cruel, and heavy, yet she also learns that her spirit bends without breaking, that even when everything falls apart, something inside her refuses to disappear. She may be a mother wiping tears before sunrise, teaching her children how to be brave while she is still learning herself. She may be a survivor of violence, betrayal, abandonment, or neglect, carrying invisible scars that no one else can see. She may be a dreamer whose dreams were laughed at, ignored, delayed, yet never erased. Unbroken women walk among us unnoticed. They stand in grocery store lines, they sit in waiting rooms, they work late nights and wake early mornings, they laugh at the right moments and cry in private places. They learn how to hide pain behind responsibility, because the world does not always make space for women who are healing. They have been told to be patient, to be quiet, to be grateful, even when gratitude feels impossible. They have been asked to carry families, communities, expectations, and silence all at once, yet somehow they rise each day, choosing to try again, choosing to show up, choosing to believe that tomorrow might be kinder. An unbroken woman has known fear, she has felt it grip her chest, tighten her throat, and cloud her thoughts. She has stood at crossroads where every path felt heavy. She has questioned her worth, her strength, her purpose, but even in doubt she kept moving, because stopping felt like surrender, and she was not ready to surrender. She learns that healing is not a straight road, it is a winding path with setbacks and pauses, with days of progress and days of exhaustion. She learns to forgive herself for the days she cannot be strong. She learns that rest is not weakness and asking for help is not failure. Unbroken women do not rise alone, they rise through connection, through stories shared in whispers, through hands held in silence, through moments of understanding that say you are not alone. They find strength in other women who have walked similar paths, who remind them that survival is a form of courage. There are nights when the weight feels unbearable, when memories return uninvited, when the future feels uncertain, but even then she breathes, she grounds herself, she remembers how far she has come, she remembers the woman she was and honors the woman she is becoming. An unbroken woman learns to redefine success not as perfection but as persistence, not as applause but as peace. She celebrates small victories like getting out of bed, setting boundaries, choosing herself, saying no when she needs to and yes when it feels right. An unbroken woman has known fear, she has felt it grip her chest, tighten her throat, and cloud her thoughts. She has stood at crossroads where every path felt heavy. She has questioned her worth, her strength, her purpose, but even in doubt she kept moving, because stopping felt like surrender, and she was not ready to surrender. She learns that healing is not a straight road, it is a winding path with setbacks and pauses, with days of progress and days of exhaustion. She learns to forgive herself for the days she cannot be strong. She learns that rest is not weakness and asking for help. She understands that her story does not need to inspire everyone, it only needs to be true. She owns her truth even when it shakes, even when it trembles, because truth is where her power lives. Unbroken women are not fearless, they are courageous in spite of fear. They move forward carrying both strength and softness, learning that both can coexist, learning that vulnerability is not the opposite of strength but a part of it. They rebuild after heartbreak, they start again after failure, they love again after loss, they trust themselves even when the world has given them reasons not to. An unbroken woman becomes a quiet revolution. She changes the narrative not through loud words, but through consistent action, through resilience, through choosing growth over bitterness. She becomes proof that pain does not define the ending. She looks at her reflection one day and sees not the broken pieces, but the resilience that held them together. She sees a woman who endured, who adapted, who survived, and who still believes in possibility. Unbroken women rise not because life was easy, but because they were determined. They rise for themselves, and for those watching, for daughters, sisters, friends, and strangers who need to see that survival is possible. This is not a story of perfection, this is a story of persistence, of choosing life again and again, even when it hurts, even when it is hard, even when no one is watching. Unbroken women are still here, still standing, still becoming, and their stories matter because they remind the world that strength can be quiet, that healing takes time, and that even the most fragile hearts can carry the greatest power. And still, she keeps going. Even on days when strength feels borrowed. Even when faith feels thin. Even when her voice shakes. Because somewhere along the way, she learned that surviving was not her final form. It was only the beginning. An unbroken woman learns to listen to herself. To the quiet needs she once ignored. To the boundaries she was never allowed to have. She learns that choosing herself is not selfish. It is survival. It is healing. It is reclaiming the life she was told to put last. She begins to speak more gently to her own heart, replacing criticism with compassion, replacing shame with understanding. She no longer demands perfection from herself. Only honesty, only effort, only truth. There are days she still feels tired, days when old wounds ache, days when progress feels invisible. But she has learned that healing does not always feel powerful. Sometimes it feels like rest. Sometimes it feels like tears. Sometimes it feels like doing nothing at all. And she allows it. An unbroken woman stops shrinking to make others comfortable. She stops apologizing for taking up space, for having needs, for having dreams. She realizes that her presence is not a burden. Her voice is not too much. Her emotions are not weaknesses. They are evidence that she is alive. She becomes intentional about where she gives her energy, about who has access to her heart, about what she tolerates. She learns that peace is not something to earn. It is something to protect. And slowly, almost without noticing, she begins to stand taller. Not because life stopped being hard, but because she stopped doubting her ability to face it. She becomes the woman she once needed. The safe place. The steady voice. The reminder that pain does not last forever. That growth is possible. That starting over is allowed. Unbroken women carry wisdom earned through experience. They do not rush healing. They honor timing. They trust the process even when it